I'm Rosa Mendez, and I'm here at the #1 Long Island broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh. I had the best time ever!
Hey, listen, Daddy, you're listening to the #1 broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh, Daddy, in Long Island. The best pro wrestling broadcast of all time, I think.
Jimmy, I got to tell you, man, it feels good to be back on YouTube. It was quite disappointing what happened to us, but we bounced back fairly quickly.
Well, what else would we do? We're almost at 5,000 subscribers.
Well, speaking of that, man, we need more members.
Okay.
What do you think we need to do to get the people of those 5,000 subscribers to come on and join the team as a Monty and the Pharaoh member?
Nudity is out of the question. Any other ideas?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But what I do have a few ideas.
Well, just like Prel, they should tell 2 friends, and they could tell 2 friends, and so on and so on. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Check out all our content.
But that's, you know what? That's why you're the star of the show, because guess what? Members get special content. Even we spoke about it. Pharaoh came to me one day and he goes, man, what's the deal? I can't even watch some of these videos because I'm not a member. And I said, there you go, Pharaoh. You got to be a member because this is what the members get. They get free content
Nice.
that none of the other fans that watch this show get.
That's right.
You get free autographs from some of these wonderful stars that come in, right?
Nice.
All you do is you go to the MNP webpage, or right, our own page, and shoot us an email and say, hey, man, I want a picture of Tommy Rich. I want a picture of whatever. And boy, that's on its way.
We give them their choice.
That's right.
We rock.
We do rock.
And you need to rock too. Join.
Straight out of ESO Studios comes Monty and the Pharaoh's #1 after show, the only after show featuring me, ESO, and welcome everybody. Let's get this thing started. Oof. First thing I got to do is thank you fans for coming out and supporting me. It's always great to talk with you guys and get the emails and get the interaction going. It's always a lot of fun. Thank you guys. Next thing I have to do is, as always, I have to send a shout out to Mike, Monty, and Jimmy Pharaoh. If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. And you know what? You got to catch their show, the Monty and the Pharaoh Show. It's on every Thursday night at 9 p.m. on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube Live. It's also the featured show on the Intuitive app. Yeah. A little LA night there. So you can also find them streaming on every one of those podcast services. And you know what? Wherever you can find them, chances are you can find ESO and the After Show. And also, don't forget, Dan and Benny in the Ring is also on there. Yes. So last week I didn't get a chance to come on and do a show. I did do a quick send out to Mike, but he didn't get a chance to put it up. But we did have some sad news in the Monty and the Pharaoh family. Unfortunately, we lost one of our own, Mike Mantor, Havoc. I can't believe it. I was in your show hours before I found out you passed away, and I only interacted with you 2 weeks ago, and it was nice, my brief interactions with you. I really enjoyed going on your show, and I know you had plans to come back and reciprocate, but unfortunately the things didn't work out that way, and I wish your family well in this tough time for them. So well, on another note, so the after show, we've got some cool stuff coming up. So I think I'm going to try and go live next week. I was going to go live last week, but I had a little bit of an internet issue up here in upstate New York. We had some ridiculous storms come through, and internet was kind of a little bit intermittent. And unfortunately, I missed the second half of the Monty and the Pharaoh show, and I was not able to go live with Mike Monty. But hopefully either next week or the week after we'll be going live, and we've got some cool stuff coming up. Some really, really fun guests. One of my favorite upcoming guests is a guy named Oscar Allen, Dr. E. Oscar Allen. You can look him up. The guy's been involved in everything. And most of the interviews I see with him are very, very stiff and kind of a little bit on the dry side. But I know a different side of this guy, and we're going to bring it out of him on the air. I can't wait for that. So let's see. So, while we're on some of the stuff coming up on the network, we are already streaming on the ESO Creative Twitch site with, right now I'm doing the WWE 2K23. it's a pretty cool game. It's actually a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I played video games, especially a wrestling video game, and this definitely is a lot of fun. It's a lot bigger than the old games of the past, and I am going to probably start streaming next week. We're just not sure on what times on the Monty and the Pharaoh Twitch channel. And I'm going to start with the old NES wrestling games, Muscle, Tag Team Wrestling, and Pro Wrestling. Probably going to do all three of them in one episode. I don't think I could sit through playing more than a half hour of each one. So what we'll do is then take some synopsises, some video from them. We're going to bring them onto the channel, and we'll do a little bit of a review of the games and see which ones are still fun to play and which ones really, really didn't hold up to time. And I can tell you those ones on the NES, I've been playing with them a little bit. They're a little on the rough side. Pro wrestling is still a little bit fun, but man, the muscle game, MUSCLE, with periods in between, that's a little tough to play. So is Tag Team Wrestling by I believe it was Tecmo, but they ended up coming out with Tecmo Wrestling later on I believe it was 1990, and that ended up being a pretty good game. So let's see, where are we at? Well, listen, we had some cool wrestling news I want to just touch base on this week. We had Jake on Wrestling Inc. They were talking about Jake the Snake Roberts actually performing the DDT for the first time in a long time. He struggled a little bit with it, but you know what? Nobody got up from his DDT, and I doubt whoever it was in that wrestling program got up after it either. Yeah, everybody always sold Jake's DDT. And that's the way it should be now with finishing maneuvers. People shouldn't kick out of them 5 times. Only time you should ever kick out of a finishing maneuver is on a pay-per-view, or maybe a premium main event on a Raw or SmackDown in a build-up match. But no, not on the everyday basis like AEW and WWE do now. So yeah, I'll get off my soapbox there. So WWE really pushed Brock Lesnar. This is also on Wrestling Inc. WWE really pushed Brock Lesnar this week, and unfortunately, the ratings did not come through. They fell flat. Listen, I am not surprised. I think WWE has been making a mistake for a long time with some of the ways these things have been being booked. I think the Brock Lesnar coming back every 3 months, the Edge disappearing for months on end, all that stuff, I'm done with it. I think the average fan is starting to get fed up with it too. People don't care that Brock Lesnar came back. He just came back three weeks ago. And on that note, they're talking about that Cody Rhodes has to go over. Yeah, the only way Cody Rhodes is going to gain any credibility is going over Brock Lesnar. But the reality is it's not realistic. Cody Rhodes has no business going over Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is one of the GOATs. Cody, you're a good talker. I love your promos, but you and Seth Rollins are, in my opinion, that second tier level. You're always going to be in that main event picture, but neither one of you should be holding the belts. That secondary title that Seth Rollins has is the one that you should hold. You should not hold the one that Roman Reigns has. There's very, very few people that I think are on Roman Reigns' level at this point. And I mean, here, let's see, what do we have? We have Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton. That's really about it. Those big names out there. The rest, I really don't want to see in the ring with Roman. I know Logan Paul put on a great match with him, but again, Logan Paul I put in that Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes level. Oh, they're right there. They're main eventers, but they're not the champions. So again, get off my soapbox there. And so Rick Steiner is at it again. So last year, Rick Steiner made some comments about somebody, and there was an uproar about it, and he was asked to leave the WrestleCon. Well, he had been invited back, and now they rescinded that offer, and he is now uninvited to WrestleCon. I think this is stupid. People should be allowed to have their own beliefs. I have my own beliefs. I try not to put my political stuff out there. It's just not worth it. I'm here to talk about wrestling and fun stuff. I don't want to bring politics into this, but honestly, let the guy have his beliefs. If you don't want to hear what he has to say, walk away. Don't go visit his booth. Don't go buy his autograph. That's the way you protest him. Don't kick him out of the thing and prevent the guy from having an opportunity to make a living. Man, it's not like I'm sorry. This world's just upside down, backwards, and then some. Oh, let's see. What else did we have? Oh, let's see. So, this coming week, we're going to have Rey Mysterio, Sheamus, Cameron Grimes, and LA Knight battle out for that United States Championship Invitational for a chance at Theory. Who can go over in this match? Rey Mysterio? Nah, there's no way they're gonna put him in a match with Theory. Sheamus? Maybe, but no. Cameron Grimes has absolutely no business being in there. And, of course, the MVP right now, LA Knight. Yeah. So who's going to have that chance to face Theory? It's got to be LA Knight. Yeah, there's nobody else that really can do it. So, well, on that note, listen, I'm going to take a quick break. And when I get back, I'm going to go over a WWE magazine from, I believe it's November 1988. And it features one of my favorite wrestlers from when I was a kid, The Ultimate Warrior. Hell yeah. Yeah. Check this out. Recently, somebody got me this. This is the Legends WWE Mattel Dingo Warrior version of The Ultimate Warrior. Check that out. Wish he was still alive because I'd love to get that autograph, but unfortunately he's no longer with us. And yeah, as much as I was a fan of him when I was a kid, as I got to be an adult, I realized what a kind of a tool he kind of was. Changing his name to Warrior, really not taking the opportunities to do things the way he should have. His attitude, especially if you disagreed with him slightly. Listen, I believe everybody should be allowed to have their opinion, and I may agree with you, I may disagree with you, but don't try and change my views in an arrogant way. You should, I'll respect your views. I'll listen to you. I'll process them. And if I want to take them on as my own, I will. Otherwise, I'm going to continue viewing things the way I want to view them. So he really, the Warrior really wasn't into stuff like that. He really, he tried to force his views down everybody's throats. But anyway, listen, we'll be right back after this, and we're going to go over that magazine. I can't wait to take a walk down memory lane. We'll be right back.
And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB. Elm Logistics, for all your logistic needs. Call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics. Pride, performance, and partnerships.
Oh. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the After Show, found here only on the Monty and the Pharaoh channels. It's time to take a stroll down memory lane again, this time to November 1988 and a WWF magazine featuring the one and only The Ultimate Warrior. This is The Ultimate Warrior holding the Intercontinental Championship that he just attained from the one and only Honky Tonk Man. This was the beginning of the major push for The Ultimate Warrior that culminates in that WrestleMania 6 win over Hulk Hogan. Right now, we're in the Mega Powers build-up, which is that Randy Macho Man Savage Hulk Hogan angle. That's about to explode. So let's check out this magazine. On the cover, we have The Ultimate Warrior. The Fury takes the gold. SummerSlam 1988. All the results and exclusive photos. Randy Savage. Is he facing a conspiracy? Battle of the Titans. A special report on Bass at brutalizing Beefcake. Hart Foundation versus the Rougeaus. They set out to show the fabulous Rougeaus are not so fabulous. So yeah, that's when the Hart Foundation had recently turned face. So Check this out. So, of course, we open it up. We've got the table of contents, and we've got an ad for Crushing It. That no longer exists as far as I know. I think we just have Sunkiss left when you can even find that. First article that we're going to go into is it's Around the Ring. And what this does is this is giving a culmination of the results of SummerSlam and the angles going forward and how they're going to lead into the Survivor Series. And then we have on the opposite page, we have an ad for the SummerSlam pay-per-view or the VHS. And how much was it back then? Oh, it was only $40 for the VHS and 6 to 8 weeks shipping and handling time. I don't miss those days. Could you imagine how people would react now if you had to send a check out in the mail and then 6, 8 weeks later, you finally receive your package back? Wow, they would be flipping nowadays. If people don't get stuff in 2 days, they're upset now. Let's see. We've got On the Mat, which features the Don Morocco is now getting shadowed by the superstar Billy Graham because superstar acting more of a manager role for Don the Rock Morocco at this point. Newsbreakers. Sugar Ray Leonard had attended SummerSlam and just interacted with the fans and with some of the athletes there. Personality profile this month features Paul Roma going on the singles circuit. I believe this is just before the Young Stallions got established. So Paul Roma had a great look. He just never got over in the WWF. He did to a point in the WCW and was part of the Horsemen, but really he never lived up to the potential that they thought he would. Next we have the ad for the ice cream bars. You guys hear me rave about them all the time. Bring those things back. I loved them. I missed them. They were awesome. Next, we have an interview with the Ultimate Warrior where he discusses his win over the Honky Tonk Man at SummerSlam. I don't know if you guys remember this. The Honky Tonk Man issued an open challenge, and the Ultimate Warrior came out and squashed him in 30 seconds. It was great. It was great. The Ultimate Warrior was so over then. And as a kid at that point, he was a larger than life superhero. I didn't realize his matches were squashes because the guy couldn't really work a match because he would blow up and be winded after 2 minutes. But back then, hey, I had no clue. Next up, we have another article from the cover. We have Battle of the Titans featuring Outlaw Ron Bass and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And this is about bull whips and brutality. And Ron Bass has spurs out. He's got a bull whip, all kinds of stuff in his weapons in his feud against Beefcake. And this just goes back and forth. And they had quite a few battles. And in the end, most of the time, the babyface went over. Beefcake won. Next up, is there a plot against Macho Man Randy Savage? Are there sinister forces may be aligned against him? I wonder if that's Hulk Hogan and Elizabeth. But in this article, it's about Bobby the Brain Heenan and the Heenan family, Jimmy Hart's family, Andre the Giant, Haku. Then we have Slick and Big Boss Man. Back then there were a lot of really good. There was a lot of good talent back then. It was a lot of fun. This week, I wanted to focus a little bit more on a different part of the WWF catalog. So I took a picture of the posters that were available. Check this out. When I was a kid, I always wanted that Hulk Hogan 6'6" poster, but never did get it. Demolition had that poster, looks awesome. Check this out, that Jake the Snake one. Bam Bam Bigelow, Brutus Beefcake, the Ultimate Warrior himself. Man, what a great time to be a WWF fan as a kid. There was some cool stuff out there. Next, we have the results of SummerSlam 1988, where the Mega Powers destroy the Mega Bucks. And we see the seed sowed really soon of the turning of Savage against Hogan for the lead up to WrestleMania 5. Back then, there were 4 major pay-per-views a year. You had SummerSlam, you had the Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. And over the course of the year, storylines played out, and they really were long. They were longer range back then, kind of like this Bloodline angle. That's why everybody's really enjoying this Bloodline angle. It's the longevity of it. And back then, you could see at this point the seeds being planted for that eventual turn. So that was awesome. But at this point, the Mega Powers destroyed the Mega Bucks, and then we had the surprise of the Ultimate Warrior winning the Intercontinental Championship from the Honky Tonk Man. We also had Demolition, the champions, going over the former champions, the Hart Foundation. Speaking of the Hart Foundation, the next article is about them. They had recently turned face, and they were facing off with Jimmy Hart's proteges, the Rougeaus. This was just about how, just the feud in general, stuff like that. Next up, we have one of the most dangerous men that ever stepped into the squared circle. We know him as Ming. We know him as Haku. But at this point, we knew him as the King Haku. Let's see. This says, is he the WWF's most dangerous man? At that point, he probably was. Next up, Private Eye. George the Animal Steel takes the Detroit by storm. This is about him touring all over Detroit, chosen by all the big landmarks at that point. At that point, Detroit was doing really well. That was before it really went downhill. So, Wrestler's Rebuttal this month, it's Bobby Heenan saying he's sexy, and then, whatever. We have Brutus Beefcake responding with Heenan needs a haircut. Rick Rude, Bobby's got a style all of his own. Slick, you can't deny it. The Bros got it all, style, looks, and money. Coco Beware. Bobby Heenan, the Weasel, is ugly inside and out. Of course, we have the WWF crossword, and the last page, as always, is a caught in the act. This month, it is Ted DiBiase putting money into the inside pocket of Jesse Ventura. The caption reads, Jesse the Body Ventura smiles in appreciation as Ted DiBiase gives him some greenbacks. Was it a gift or an attempt to grease the skids of victory at SummerSlam 1988? Wow. I love going through these magazines. It's a lot of fun. Especially these ones from like the 87 to like 1990 era. That was really my biggest wrestling fandom as a kid. That's what made me a lifelong fan. So, Ultimate Warrior. So, on that note, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to wrap this up, and I'll be right back.
Sir?
Ah.
Manscaped?
Uh-huh.
Have you tried the new equipment that's been sent?
I'm afraid because it says Weed Whacker. I'm scared.
Maven, Manscaped, what are you thinking about
Love it.
Manscaped, dude?
Love it.
What do you use it for?
Necessity. What don't I use it for? Put it this way. The only hair I have on my entire body is these eyebrows.
Yeah.
That you see. These
Wow.
caterpillars racing to the middle of my nose. That's it.
That is it.
That's all I have. And that's all I want.
That's the
So
bit-
Manscaped is
You-
a must.
We were talking before the show. There's nothing worse than just hair.
Yeah.
Right? Hair on a woman, hair on a man. It's just bad.
Absolutely. And it's the one thing that the older I get, it starts growing more in unwanted areas.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Just going to go out there.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
You're doing a deed.
Yes.
Again, I don't want you to have to admit this because we, as men, we try not to admit this. But if you're going to
Oh,
go
I
do
know
the deed
where-
on a
I
woman,
know where
would you
he's
rather
going.
have her be hairless or a little hair, racing stripe, or
Racing stripe.
full retro bush?
Well,
Racing stripe.
Retro Bush is out.
Yes, thank you.
Retro Bush is out.
Yeah.
I don't mind a small, well manicured landing strip. Every now and then, if it's completely, and I'm talking like baby's ass bald, then I start. Where is that pedophilia line? I don't want to
Wow.
wander into that.
That's
thought
very
of it like
interesting.
that.
I never thought about that. You're a
Wow.
smart dude. Holy shit.
So if the landing strip is clean enough for the plane to go in smoothly, you're cool with that.
If the landing strip is has, like I said, well manicured.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can see both sides. It's not
Like blinking lights on both sides of that.
I just don't. I don't want. I don't want the shrubbery going off into unwanted areas on that as well.
Gotcha. Oh,
Yeah,
look
but-
what you found. Ooh.
I got to be all honest though. Hey, the older I get though, I don't think I can be as
I found it. Have you ever gone down there and she slowly brings down the underwear? Then
What is
retro? Just,
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa.
Wow,
Yeah, I'm
like
46,
it
of
pops
course.
out?
Do you like walk out or what do you do?
No, I muster through. I muster up the courage to get
He's
through.
a trooper. He's a trooper. Got to give him an A.
Oh, not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah,
There you go.
I hear you.
There you
Listen,
go.
I couldn't
Super
say.
Bush.
I couldn't say. Well, if you have the same beliefs as Maven, does Manscaped could help you?
Absolutely.
The weed whacker.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I may have to, go in a room, close the door, and hang out with the weed whacker for a little while.
Man, I think you're a retro guy, aren't you?
I like 70s adult films, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
but
holy
with that,
Ron
we're going to take a
Jeremy,
quick
Batman.
commercial break, and we'll be
Anyway.
back with this wrestling icon, Maven.
We will see you in a drop kick second.
Drop kick.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the After Show, found here only on the Monty and the Pharaoh channels. Well, thank you guys for stopping by as usual. I got a quick story to tell before we get going. So Marty Jannetty and I have been in contact, and he's going to cut some type of promo or ad type thing for me in the show, and we've been going back and forth on it for a couple of weeks. And the other day I got an audio message from Marty at about 1:30 in the morning. I woke up to it, and I was like, "Oh, awesome! This must be that that ad." Well, I would have preferred a video version, but audio is awesome. Especially most of you guys are listening on the podcast, not seeing the video version. Which, hey, how did you guys like the blue set this week? Let me know in the comments below. So, like I said, I got this audio from Marty Jannetty, and I'm like, cool, I can't wait. So I go and I open it expecting maybe some sarcastic promo about my business or about me, or something challenging, something, not what I expected. So I open it up, and well, it was so good I had to create a video version of it. So listen, check this out, guys.
What I got, you gotta give it to your mama. What I got, you gotta give it to your papa. You do a little dance and you drink a little water. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. What the fuck?
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. That was what I woke up to the other day, expecting kind of a promo. Instead, I got Marty Jannetty singing to me, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away. And an interesting rendition of it at that. So, well, I just wanted to give you guys kind of a preview. I don't know if you guys ever see or go on to Twitch and what you do. And as you know, I'm going to be streaming a history of video games of the past, and I'm going to start with the NES, and one of my favorites was a game called Pro Wrestling. And what'll end up happening is when you're watching the stream, I'll be playing down here, interacting, and I'll be able to also see the chat so that I can talk back and forth with you guys too. It should be a lot of fun. I'm only going to spend a little bit of time on each of these games on the NES, and then as we get into some of the better games that are a little bit more in depth, I'll spend a little bit more time on them. Pro Wrestling was a great game for the NES, and I'll talk a little bit more about the history of it when we get to that game. But I just wanted to show you kind of what it's going to look like. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little synopsis of those streaming sessions, and I'm going to bring them onto the show, and over time create a collection of these video games so that if anybody else wants to go and play them or see what these were about, they can. And so. On that note, I think I'm gonna head out of here, and I gotta send a special thanks out to Mike, Monty, and Jimmy Farrell for letting me do this. It's always fun, and hey Marty Jannetty, thank you for sending me that interesting voicemail the other day, and thank you to all you fans, and yeah, we will be going hopefully live. I don't know if it'll be next week, but maybe as soon as next week. But we will be streaming live this week on the ESO Twitch channel and probably the Monty and the Pharaoh Twitch channel also. I may even be able to, if Mike and I can set it up correctly, maybe I'll just stream directly on the Monty and the Pharaoh YouTube channel. That would be interesting. Oh yes, and check this out. The day of Marty Jannetty's Dark Side of the Rink episode, Mike, Monty, and I are going to be doing a live watch along, and we're gonna kind of dissect this and be there for our friend Marty. As I hate to say it, I'm afraid this is going to be a hit piece on him. I don't see anything else. I mean, those Vice pieces, it's called I don't remember what the name of it, but it definitely doesn't sound like it's going to be I think it's The World According to Marty Jannetty. We'll see. But on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys next week. Later.